Simone Reyes, executive assistant to Russell Simmons, but in many ways, more importantly, let's not give him all the credit, a wonderful animal rights activist. I don't know anybody who is more devoted than you are. Would you introduce your friend?
This is Hubble Yoda, my most recent member of the family. He's a special needs rescued Japanese chin, and he's blind.
Oh, bless his heart. Oh my, how long have you had him?
Only about 4 months now, so it's, and he's only been blind for about 6 months. So we're both adjusting to him being blind and the challenges that come with that, and also the milestones that come with that.
Well, how's it going though? I mean, I know you had to learn, was it different, or is it really what you have to do with most dogs?
A lot of it's very similar. I encourage people to go and adopt special needs animals because if you have enough patience and love in your heart, it's all really all the same. I've had a deaf dog, Stevie. I had a 3-legged dog, Pikachu. I had Cassidy, who had multiple emotional issues. Blindness is just another obstacle in some ways, but in other ways I would say that he's even more on the ball, even smarter, because his other senses are so heightened.
Oh, yes. Yes, I've heard that. And I also saw you on the NBC show, I think it was NBC, Dogs in New York.
Yes, Dogs in the City. Hubble Yoda gets recognized all the time in the street, which is hysterical.
Because
people want to take their picture with him. It's so funny.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, I remember you showed up in Bryant Park pushing Hubble Yoda in a stroller.
Yes.
And you got a bit chastised by that.
I did, but you know what? I'm still rocking the stroller. I got some really great tips from Justin Silver on introducing him to other dogs and getting him to walk better on a leash. However, he is blind and he does get tired, and I find the stroller, an amazing part of our lives just to get us from A to Z quick.
Oh, that's a good tip.
And he loves the stroller. He falls asleep like a little baby. As soon as we start going, he's snoozing.
It's the same thing.
Yeah.
They're little people with lots of fuzz.
That's right.
I know you're vegan as well. And
Hubble Yoda's vegan.
Oh, excellent.
Yes, Hubble Yoda's completely vegan now.
And what do you feed him?
He's on Nature's Balance vegetarian food, which is actually has all the nutrients that he needs, and all of his treats are completely vegan. So, and he's been doing great on it. All the same issues, obviously, that we have eating meat. You have to even multiply that more when you think about what goes into the food that's fed to pets. It's the most diseased, it's the most cancerous, it's the most, typically, the most horrendously, steroids, antibiotics, all that stuff. So it makes sense for me to be vegan, and it makes sense for Hubble Yoda to be vegan.
Oh, that is extraordinary. I think you should have a book coming yourself, because how to deal with feeding pets in a plant-based way and special needs dogs. I mean, I hope that's on your agenda.
I think so. I already wrote 2 books on astrology for pets, which I don't use the word pets anymore. Now it's always companion animals. I don't believe in using the word owner. I use the word guardian. I think that words have power, and we have to be careful. I also hate it when people call a scoundrel sort of male a dog. There's nothing wrong with being a dog. Find another word for him. Or if you don't like somebody and you find them sloppy, you call them a pig. Things like that. I think we have to be really, cognizant of what power words have.
Yes, and I must say that being vegan for 36 years myself, I'm shocked at how many times I will make a reference that I've grown up with.
Sure.
And I'm hearing it for the first time.
Sure.
I say, oh, how could I be saying that? And I agree, words have power.
In 36 years, that's amazing.
Subliminal, though. It's a subliminal thing that most people don't realize the words they use have impact.
Yeah.
Everybody usually had a light bulb moment when they decided to give up eating animal products. Was there one for you?
There was. I remember watching a documentary that had Bridget Bardot on the ice at the Canadian seal slaughter, which is still going on today, and this was in the early 90s, and so it's horrific to think that it's still going on. But I remember very distinctly, I've told this story before, just watching her on the ice with, it was captioned in French, and she was with a baby seal that wasn't dead yet, but we all knew would be soon, and she wrapped her arms around him and she whispered in his ear, she said, "Don't worry, we'll get them." And after watching the mother seals screaming and trying to protect their young and seeing the blood all over the ice for vanity purpose, for wearing a fur coat, horrified me, and I thought to myself, yes, we'll get them, and I want to be one of the people getting them.
That's fabulous. How long ago was that?
That was in the early 90s.
Early 90s, yes.
Before Whole Foods, before we had all this amazing vegan food. It was a lot of pasta and rice and vegetables at the time. We've come a long way.
Oh, we have come a long way. It is incredible. The word is getting around.
It's the most delicious way to be.
Do you have a favorite go-to dish? I know it's hard always to pick one.
I have a favorite go-to spot. So I spend a lot of time in Los Angeles. I have a house there, and it happens to be right down the hill. Well, actually, it's up the hill from Veggie Grill. And anything the Veggie Grill has is just like, I call it vegan crack, because it's just the most amazing stuff. I mean, in anything, I always say to people, you know, the easiest way to transition is to substitute. If you have a craving for, you know, a hamburger, have a veggie burger. If you have a craving for a hot dog, have a tofu putt. You know, whatever you want, we have it. And we have it in a healthier version, a more low-calorie version, a non-cholesterol version. We have everything you want, and it's going to make you feel better. You're
even bacon.
Everything, exactly. Fake tuna fish, everything. So what's amazing about that is that after you eat whatever it is that you're craving, the vegan alternative, you don't feel that weighted down, bloated sort of feeling. You just feel like you've given yourself fuel, which is really what food is supposed to be.
Mm-hmm. Instead of taking a nap, you want to go out for a walk.
Exactly.
So, someone who's viewing this and feels as though they don't know where to start, that, yes, I've heard of it, yes, I have some health problems, but gee, you know, it's too hard. I really feel like I like my food, even though I know it's damaging to me and the planet. We haven't mentioned that as well.
Number one cause of global warming.
Yes, and so...
Even the UN has begged people to stop eating meat, or at least to cut down. That is, you know, that's evidence that can't be disputed. And when the UN steps in and says, hey, we have a problem, then we know, because they're not being paid off by us vegans to say that. You know, they're doing it because the world is in crisis and global warming is an astronomical problem.
And few people can understand how stopping meat or animal consumption is going to help the environment. How do you
I mean,
feel?
If you look at the amount of water that's used, if you look at the amount of rainforest that's destroyed, if you look at the amount of grain that's fed to cows and livestock, and you think about putting that toward ending world hunger, it's a no-brainer. That's how we're going to end world hunger, is by going vegan.
Yes, and just to backtrack a quick second, when you go to Veggie Grill, what is your favorite meal there?
Oh my God.
You can't eat that.
It's hard to say, but they have this amazing steaming kale, and they also have buffalo wings, which are just to die for. I mean, it's, you know, everything on their menu is ridiculously good.
And in New York, since you are spending a lot, well, you live here as well, do you have a favorite?
Well, we order every day, pretty much, from Terry on on 23rd Street, almost every day. The meatball sandwich, the fake meatball sandwich, the fake tuna melt, their amazing Caesar salads. We get stuff from there every day.
And they have great green drinks, too.
Oh, they do. I mean, juicing. My boss, Russell Simmons, is a huge juicer. I mean, green juice probably is like 85% of his diet. It's like amazing. And of course, we have Blossom, and we have Candle 79. We have amazing options.
Mm-hmm. So are you telling me that you don't cook at home at all?
You know what, now that you gave me a copy of your book, I might just, I am one of the virgin cooking girls. I actually don't cook, and that's a shame, because there's amazing recipes, I know. So your book might be the one thing I
Well, I gave you Great Chefs Cook Vegan. You'll have to wait a little bit on Virgin Vegan, but you will definitely get your copies.
Awesome. I'm excited. I'm excited.
Yes. What do you see in completing what is your vision for the future?
I have no doubt and which is an amazing feeling because, you know, I always say animal rights activists have broken hearts. The things that we've seen, you know, the stories that we've heard, the fact that every time we take one step forward, it sometimes feels like there's 10 steps back. I know, and that's I think what keeps a lot of us going, is that one day people are going to look at the slaughter of animals in the same way that they look at the slaughter of men. That's coming. I can almost see it, you know, in the next, I want to say in the next 50 years, of people who turn around and go, oh my God, can you imagine? They used to have these factories, and in these factories they would churn out animals like they were nothing, and they would torture them, and they would kill them, and they were filthy, and they were diseased, and people would eat them. And how amazing that's going to be, you know, to know that that's coming. I might mess up the quote a little bit, but my favorite quote recently was one I read by Captain Watson of the Sea Shepherd, which is, if you want to know how you would perceive slavery before the Civil War, don't look to how you would perceive slavery today. Look to how you perceive animal rights.
Oh, excellent.
And that, I think, you know, says it in a nutshell of what it's going to be. Because there's a modern day slavery going on. There's a modern day Holocaust going on. There's a modern day war going on against sentient beings that have no choice and no voice. And it's up to us to fight for them because we are on the right side of history, and the right side is going vegan.
Thank you, Simone Reyes. This is fabulous, and let's hope that your words help others take this step and be as radiant and pleased with themselves as you are. And Mr. Hubble Yoda.